There is a recipe for success in the restaurant business. Step 1, start with taking a crazy chance.
I sold my RSPs, I've remortgaged my house, and I've invested in myself.
Step 2, add the creative genius.
I love to show off. That's definitely, but you know, first of all, show off with great food.
Step 3, top it off with great enthusiasm.
I'm watching the first, my first sign go up in front of the building. It looks so wicked. I'm blown away.
Stand back, wait for the applause to roll in, and pray. Within the last 2 years, all these people opened restaurants. What happened next?
Place is packed.
I gotta get in there. Hi.
He's young enough, he's rich enough, and tonight, he's very important. This is Mike Millard's first venture in the restaurant business. What's he going to find out?
When you have an opportunity, give me a call with the film crew in.
A lot of guys
And,
might want to be
we're
Mike
gonna
Millard, 31 years old and a player, moving with the movers and shakers on a first-name basis with the mayor.
We'd love the opportunity for you to stop by. It's a good opportunity for us to highlight Waterfront Drive in the Exchange District and all the work you've done down there, so.
That's good. Suck up to the mayor, might come.
Mike had enough confidence to toss away a good corporate job.
This is where I worked up until I resigned, on the 3rd floor, which is Scotiabank's Vice President's office, as a financial planner.
2 years ago, Mike had a vision. Put a fancy restaurant into Winnipeg's Exchange District, call it The Loop, total budget, $1 million.
I'm putting myself on the corner first, rolling the dice and seeing what happens. As a financial planner, I gave people advice for 5 years to save up their RSPs, take out catch-out loans, and pay down their mortgage. And I've turned around and done the exact opposite. I've sold my RSPs, I've remortgaged my house, and I've invested in myself. And then up in this area, we talked
Mike
about
hired a
cable
top
system.
designer
I wanna
and
have
opened the
a
vault.
VIP booth, a large booth to handle 8, 10, 12 people, where they can get very special treatment. It's kind of, the idea is to be in the loop. Took us a little bit over budget, but I thought it was necessary for the type of richness, custom.
Here's where the
metal
dreams started to
staircase
get
that's
away
gonna
from
come
him.
up and around. Our construction costs went over $60,000. And it wasn't because of bad planning, it was because of decisions that we made during the construction process on fixtures and finishings to get the infrastructure to the level we wanted it at. We wanted hardwood floors, we didn't want linoleum. We wanted microfiber chairs, we didn't want to have wood chairs. So you make decisions to spend. And then when the doors open, you're behind the 8 ball already.
A great restaurant needs a great chef, and Mike found one. He lured Rolf Hagen away from a competitor. Rolf is a very creative chef.
I love cooking with good food. And it's very easy to make good food taste good because it's there already. That's all I do. I just enhance stuff.
The food was tasty, but there was just one little problem.
Our chef, Rolf, designed a menu that was supposed to have a 35% food cost, and in actuality, he was running over 50%. So every time someone was spending $1 here, I was losing 15 cents. That happened for 4 months before we really realized what was going on. Rolf's gone, and I've taken over more control in the costing aspect.
Guys, come on in.
Business was good. Business being good doesn't mean that you're making money, though. And that's a misconception. Were we busy? Yes. Were we making money? No.
The Loop was popular with Winnipeg's elite, like the mayor.
It's a great space. Thank you. Thank you. And the martinis are good, and it's a fun party. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, some friends and loved ones were less enthusiastic.
I have lost money and friends. I love you, honey. I lost my wife over this business. You know, it's very hard. I'm married to this place. I have to be to be successful, and it takes every ounce of your energy and every hour of your day.
I understand you know the chef very well.
I do.
You must, because that's not on our menu. Enjoy.
As time went on, the Loop began to come apart.
Well, the landlords changed the lock on me before. And we were closed for a day until I paid the rent, and that's the reality of business. It slaps you in the face. You wake up in the morning, and that's reality.
To save money, Mike promoted a guy who started at the Loop as a dishwasher to head chef.
Those are Brad's potatoes from his farm there? Yeah. Yeah, nice.
He's now living at home with his mother. He's lost 50 pounds from the stress.
Before I cashed in my RSPs to open this place, now I've spent all my savings and then some. I've even scaled down my lifestyle. You know, some of the luxuries that I like to have or I have had, I go without. I have a weakness for nice cars. I've had 3 Mercedes in 5 years, and now I'm driving the truck I bought 8 years ago.
Come on.
But I don't care. You know, I don't get a regular salary here. I don't care. I'm willing to sacrifice now for the long term. This is my RSP. This is my long-term investment. "17 months after opening, behind again in his rent, Mike was forced to close the Loop.
I've been contributing upwards of $10,000 a month to keep the business going since January, and you get to the point where you get sick of writing checks. I started borrowing from my mom, and I'll tell you something. It's not a very pleasant day when you have to go home to your mom and ask for $8 grand to get you through the next month. So today, I do feel like we're making the right decision by winding it down. My son's a year old, Brandon. The most I've spent with him is 2 nights a week since he's been born. I'd like to find something that can fit in with parenting. I learned some really good lessons. Lessons about business, lessons about partnership, friendship, marriage. But I'd never go back into the restaurant business again. I had a lot more fun being a customer than an owner.
I lost it, just lost it. I don't know why. And I remember the plate, and I had it in my hand, and I just drove it, and it's and then I think, oh my God, that was my $60 plate.
Stephanie Bertozzi, an unstoppable force. But opening her 3rd restaurant with her husband and head chef Maurizio was pure pain. Do you have to be an obsessive-compulsive masochist to open a restaurant?
This will be our front entrance over here. I wanted to make a beautiful restaurant on the waterfront in Halifax. I have a big vision for to create this, a beautiful room, something very contemporary, something that nobody else has done, and to take all the things that I've seen over the years and incorporate them into one place. Stop, 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 stop. Under here. No credit card.
1,000,001 details, and they can all turn on you.
Oh my God, our power just went off. Like in any restaurant opening, it is horrific. It's the only way to describe it. Anything that could go wrong will go wrong, and then a whole lot more. We have no hot water. We have no phone. We have no whatever. We have no courtyard. I'm not sure if all the bathrooms work. I don't know where all the electrical stuff is. And my lighting's in transit someplace. Yeah, it was rough. I hated it.
Maurizio designed the kitchen and supervised the new chef, Stéphane Cézapelé.
One of the things we had to learn to do is to work together, and we all have pretty healthy egos. And with him, I was more comfortable, say, than it had been someone else, but it's still difficult because I have my own style, and we had to really merge our thinking.
Bish would be one of the biggest restaurants Stéphane had worked in, and that would be a problem.
The cooks didn't understand, and I warned them. This will be big. This will be huge. And I don't think they believed me. And it was.
Bish was a success. People came and enjoyed, but had no idea what was going on behind the scenes.
Most people didn't know the pain that we were suffering. I'm in the kitchen pounding my head on the stainless steel server saying, please give me that table. Please, I'm begging now. I'm begging. I'll do anything if you give me that table. So, almost in tears in the kitchen. I think I only threw a plate once. I lost it, just lost it. I don't know why. And I remember the plate, and I had it in my hand, and I just drove it. And it's and then I think, oh my God, that was my $60 plate. So, yeah, I didn't do that anymore.
On the shakedown cruise of Bish, Stéphane was one of the first to go over the side.
Well, just there was a lot of problems, things happened and... What happened?
There's no hot water for tonight.
Why? It was easier when it was just Maurizio and I, right? And he was in the kitchen, I was out front. I never had to worry about a chef because, I married him.
Maurizio may supervise the kitchen, but Stephanie needs to keep a tight rein on everything.
Don't you have the feeling it's going to be the patio night from hell? It's going to be busy.
She's good. She's very good at it, and usually comes out perfect.
What do you mean usually?
Well, usually, yes.
It was only the wine. It was only the wine bar thing.
No, well,
the wine bar thing didn't work.
The paint, the ceiling, the stick, and small details, but eventually.
That was the painter, not me.
They've been in business together 20 years, and they've had their moments.
Okay, don't look for me on the phone.
We used to go outside of the restaurant and have this huge screaming match. And I still remember these customers would be walking in, and Maurizio and I are just in the midst of the big dirty fight, and we say, oh, good evening. Hi, nice to see you. And they go in the door, we'd finish the fight.
But disagreements haven't gotten in the way. Their new venture, a suburban mall restaurant.
Well, right now, I'm really excited about it. Because, I love building, so, building is what I'd rather do than anything. It's like a drug. You sort of crave that, you crave the before and after is what I always call it.
It seems like what she really craves is pain.
Oh, there's lots of pain, but it's like childbirth. You forget it, right? Once it's over, it's done. It's like Bish. I swore to everybody, I'll never open another restaurant, never. And then here we are 2 years later, not only doing one, but actually going to do 2 back-to-back, so I guess I forgot.
It's really tough to be in the middle because I'm constantly challenged by wanting to please both of them. So I'm not always too sure which way to go.
A daughter, her father, and her husband open a restaurant. Business partners come and go, but families stay together, don't they?
Best of luck. Thank you.
I met Alessandro in one of the restaurant we were at, which was the Negresco in Nice, and
And then we fall in love. Her dad was living in Vancouver, and he used to tell us to come to Vancouver to open a restaurant.
The thought is elegant casual, whatever you want to call it.
Casual chic.
Casual. Yeah, well, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
use your French word, whatever you want to use.
My husband is a very even-tempered. My father's a little bit more fiery, and I think they balance out each other very well.
Alessandra, Jean-Francis, and Nicolas opened Provence a year and a half ago. It's their second restaurant, and it's doing well. The food is inspired by Jean-Francis's Mediterranean roots. Alessandra runs the front of the house, but it's teamwork that's key, according to Nicolas.
The most important thing is to have faith, having faith in your team.
Nicolas's main role on the team was to raise about $1 million and oversee the construction.
To me, there's no difference. It's gonna be equally beautiful. Whichever detail we put on those walls is gonna be absolutely fabulous.
One of Alessandra's duties on the team was decorating the dining room.
Now, how much is this one?
This one was in US dollars, I think $2,950, which translates into about 3,500 Canadian.
But Nicolas heads Team Provence, and he had a different artistic vision.
So basically the painting, why do I want it like this? I wanted it like this, and I expressed my views to the artist. I wanted to look very old looking, something from the past.
I think what I loved about the other one was the bright colors, the freshness of the lavender, and the reflection of Provence. And
it's just beautiful. I just love it, and it's a great tribute to the artist that picked up on me just the way I wanted.
it always seems like the parent knows the best and knows more, and they've got the experience, and that's great.
In Provence, Alessandra realizes it all comes down to one simple rule. Father knows best. The problem is, Jean-Francis hasn't fully grasped it.
Initially, because of slight incomprehensions, maybe I had to raise my voice a little bit.
You have to check with me at detail. So I want to see that candle. I want to look
try
at
to make them the same one a little bit higher up, but I don't think.
But the flame, you see, it's the flame.
When we have to retract the flame, maybe tap it down and you put.
No.
Now that Provence is open, Nicolas is always there, and always ready with some suggestions for Jean-Francis.
Nicolas is always pushing me, to do something else, or he's always ready for something else, but he's not completely, working physically in the restaurant, so he has a lot of time to think about other stuff.
He waters the plants a lot. Definitely keeping everybody motivated and keeping everybody on their toes. Yeah.
I love them both for the simple reason that they listen, and we listen to each other, and I think that's the true reason for the success.
Yeah, to listen to each other, that's a good part.
I think it's really tough to be in the middle because I'm constantly challenged by wanting to please both of them. You want to support both sides, and so I'm not always too sure which way to go.
The family battleground that is Provence is doing good business. Jean-Francis is practically tied to his kitchen, but Alessandra seems like she's had enough.
I think I've sort of tried to take a step back and let them be the main focus as far as business concerns. Got to raise my kids. I've got to be a good wife, be a good daughter, be a good mother and friend, and whatever else you want me to be. And I just kind of go along, and I just I stop thinking about it too much, and I just try and do and be the best I can.
For Jean-Francis, working at Provence is still worth it. Nicolas says so.
So Provence is the true answer to his dreams. And these dreams have been achieved with my little bit of help.
Peninsula Ridge was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Getting fired, and you know, I can say that now confidently, was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It's opening night at Peninsula Ridge, 2.5 years ago.
Here's the opening night.
Opening night.
Opening night.
Cheers.
And many more times to come.
Cheers.
Norm Beal, Ned Bell. Successful men with big ambitions.
This is the first and only time I'm going to serve Mr. Beal.
What happens when two cooks stir the pot?
I think probably coaching a professional football team would be easier than running a restaurant. It's just that the teamwork here, it has to be so finely tuned and coordinated, and the relationships and the dynamics between people have to be perfect. And one of those things goes wrong, and you start tripping up pretty quickly.
Norm Beal is an international oil trader who bought a vineyard in Ontario's Niagara Peninsula. He wanted to open a restaurant to help sell the wine. And not just any restaurant. Norm wanted it to be one of the best in North America.
So the next step for us was to really go out and look for some top world-class chefs. We're very fortunate to run into Ned Bell.
I love to show off. That's definitely, but you know, first of all, show off with great food. Right now, Norm and I want to blow people away. We want to make them realize that this is a different restaurant and that the food is, you know, really paramount. Take that upstairs. Okay, guys, so we're gonna
At the age of 27, Ned Bell had a reputation as one of Toronto's top chefs.
We have all of the ingredients coming from Niagara. We're taking a Spanish-inspired dish, a French-trained chef, and then coming together with a dish that I think is a real culmination of the region.
Ned wanted to take the next step, from running a kitchen to running the whole restaurant.
I think I've already proven that I can cook and that I'm creative. I think I have to prove to him that I'm a decent people manager and that I can run a successful business financially.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, I hope we can do it.
So what? The appearances can be very deceiving, and I may have exuded this tremendous sense of confidence about my ability to open up a fine dining restaurant, but I can assure you, beneath this brusque exterior, there was certainly a lot of apprehension, and you know, looking back, you know, I just wish I knew back then what I know today. I mean, it's been a tremendous learning curve. It's not looking like it's going to be ready for a couple of months.
It'll be ready.
You're sure?
Yes. Yes, I promise.
Norm had never worked in the restaurant business before. He'd made all his money as a broker. So as a broker, I mean, you know, we all know what brokers are like. They're sitting behind a desk, buying and selling and yelling at people to get their product where they need it to be. You can't do that in this business. You have to massage egos.
From the beginning, Ned seemed to have a hard time getting Norm's attention.
This is not a good time, Ned. No, okay? Sorry.
Sweating because I need to fix this problem by Monday night. So I just wish I could find Norm so I could ask him. We need fridges.
15?
I need 15 or 16 fridges.
Norm didn't seem to take Ned seriously, even in the kitchen. Ned wanted a sous chef. What he got was a co-chef.
Do not drop anything. Wait, keep it level. Level. Got it?
I wasn't interested in having a co-chef. I wanted to be the chef. I wanted to be the personality. I wanted to be the one who was going to lead that team and the one who was going to lead that restaurant to success. She didn't want to be my sous chef, and I didn't want to have a co-chef. So it was a challenge from the beginning.
I was loading up, I think, my chef with a lot of responsibility and probably not giving him the time to execute on it.
Ned, can you handle this right now?
Yeah.
You can handle this? Yeah. Yes.
Then it all blew up.
It was breaking down, and I wasn't about to wait until it had completely fallen apart before I decided to fix it. So, yeah, we did some corrective surgery very, very early within the operation of the restaurants, and we'd replaced the team.
Norm pulled me into his office and said, "It's not gonna work. You have to go." Peninsula Ridge was the best thing that's ever happened to me. Getting fired, and you know, I can say that now confidently, was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It was a loud wake-up call. Ned realized if he wanted to be in charge, he'd have to change. Now he's an executive chef for a large Calgary restaurant.
With the regular ginger, it'll be fine. I understand now that it's, you know, I am a business person, first of all. I'm a chef by trade, and I absolutely love the art of cooking food. This restaurant is not about Ned Bell. It's not about any of the owners. It's about all of us coming together, making sure that we understand what our strengths are and what our roles are and what our weaknesses are. And that is the lesson that I've learned.
Like I said, I wish I knew a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, what I know today. I think I would have avoided making a lot of mistakes, people mistakes and business mistakes. But you know, I guess that's what life's all about, is learning.
When you're an owner and you're panicking and you have so much money taken out on loans, you really want to make your money back, and I think that's the first error.
For Joel, food is art. For Marisol and Zadok, it's business. Art versus commerce? Who will win? Kinky was designed to be an Asian fusion restaurant. Eastern ingredients with Western preparation. The first in Ottawa. They needed somebody creative and unique. They found Joel Watanabe.
We have a totally westernized Japanese guy, which is our head chef, Joel. He's right here as the main attraction. He's gonna be an artist.
I think they liked the fact that I had this idea of being, you know, an artist. But when it came down to it, being the artist didn't necessarily mesh with, you know, the business side of it so much.
Marisol and Zadok owned a couple of bars, but this was their first restaurant. The construction budget ran over and their personal financial risk deepened.
We're at about 450, 1,000 with everything pretty much incorporated. We do need to have to come up with another 100,000.
Running short of money, they had to start cutting corners. First, the kitchen.
This is a major source of disappointment right here. I was supposed to have 8 burners. I was promised 8 burners, and now it ends up being 6 burners. I'm using woks, and to feed 135 people, I think this is very limited. I think this is where I realized that it was very much about money at the beginning for them, and I was more looking at final product. It was a tough moment. I think I even questioned whether I wanted to stay there at that time.
The one thing that we always struggled with Joel was having him understand our side of the coin, you know, and which was about coin, you know, which was about financial sides.
From the beginning, the owners and the chefs stopped trusting each other.
I didn't see him doing a lot of preparatory work, you know, researching his menu, researching suppliers, like that all just boiled down to the last minute. He ended up having a really nice summer in Ottawa.
I don't think those guys, those owners, realized how much thought I actually put into that menu. I sat there for hours thinking about Ottawa people, who they are, what kind of food they like to eat.
Opening night. It turned out Ottawa people loved Joel's Asian fusion cuisine. Kinky was getting off to a great start.
I have nothing negative to say about his skills as a chef. You know, the food, the presentation was awesome. It was our saving grace.
I had a priority to put out a good product. At the beginning of a restaurant, I think the most important thing is to make sure you're putting out something that's exceptional. You know, you have to make people want to come back.
People did come back in droves, but Kinky wasn't prepared for success.
We were putting out a unique product. The quality of the food was excellent. It was everything else that kind of didn't meet up to our standards.
People had to sit here and wait for like an hour for their sushi, and obviously the first few months they're forgiving, but after that it's like, well, what's going on, guys? Come on.
At the beginning, we tried to take too many reservations because when you're an owner and you're panicking and you have so much money taken out on loans, you really want to make your money back and you really want to pack your restaurant, and I think that's the first error.
He didn't understand food costing. He didn't understand labor costing. And being a chef is so multifaceted. It's not just about making food. It's about also, you know, watching your numbers, doing your homework, which he just decided to completely overlook. So
I think I had a certain image of what it should be and where it should go. And when I get something in my head, I've always been this way. I'm very hard-headed.
Joel's artistic hard head was meeting the irresistible force of commerce.
This restaurant's got to make money in order to pay his salaries and everybody else's salaries. And by just being an artist, you're not going to make it.
After sticking it out at Kinky for a year, Joel quit and left town.
I didn't want to make money for people who didn't appreciate it. I didn't want to work hard for people who I felt didn't appreciate it. And to be quite honest, when I finally told them I was leaving, nobody in that room even said thank you to me.
it's just great when people just know when time is up, you know.
Kinky is still using many of Joel's recipes. The new chef is the third since he left. But this time, the owners think they found their man.
He's not a big ego man, which I find a lot of chefs definitely are. You ask him something, he says yes, instead of, oh, well, you know what, guys, I don't know about that. We can't really do that. That's going to create this and that and that. Forget all that stuff. Just try it.
With the profits from Kinky, Marisol and Zadok have created a new spot, a lounge disco.
I'm sure we'd be open to opening up more restaurants. This was our learning experience. So now that we've gone through the worst of it, I think we know what to avoid.
Joel is cooking Italian food in a tiny neighborhood trattoria in Montreal, continuing his personal quest to develop his art.
It's how much you respect yourself and how much you want to learn and how thirsty are you for knowledge. You might never make any money. That's okay. Petit Toscan, bonsoir. I am doing reservations as well. I'm the only one here right now, so I have to do reservations and do prep, and my stove is broken and we're getting full of reservations, and it's gonna be fun tonight. Like it always is, big adventure.
Relationships are hard at the best of time, let alone having different schedules and being in school and a toddler and a restaurant. It's pretty intense.
Andrew Wong is carrying the dreams of 3 generations, and it seems the dream has come true. But should he have been more careful what he wished for? He started building Wild Rice 2.5 years ago, right next door to the hotel his grandfather once owned.
He was one of the first property owners back when you could own property as a Chinese Canadian. In that hotel, it's kind of where our family starts in this city.
Now Andrew and his wife Terry are raising what could be the 4th generation of restaurateurs.
Well, his father was a waiter for 25 years. His father used to come home from work and he would spend like an hour at the end of each shift counting out his money and carefully putting it in little packages, and Andrew used to stay up late so that he could watch his dad do this.
It's an abstract representation of rice.
Oh, geez.
So, remember, put in a lot of stuff.
Andrew's vision was a reflection of himself, modern Chinese.
I wanted to open a little Chinese joint with an ambient feel and catering to a more diverse clientele as far as outside the realm of just a Chinese clientele. Well, this is what I want. I want to step aside from the Chinese restaurant, the big group platters and whatnot. And I think that's a very social way to eat, but like this modern style we're doing with the bar, the martinis, the nice wines, and all that, I want people. It's a completely different direction. I got 10 stools on the bar. I want people to sit on them. You know, it's funny. I know that everything looks like.
To ensure a fresh approach, he recruited a chef who knew virtually nothing about Chinese cooking.
He approached me with this concept of the modern Chinese cuisine, which I found to be like a challenge for me, which I always like to have a challenge, you know, otherwise get bored really quickly. I'm doing it because I'm excited about the project.
People bought the idea of modern Chinese cuisine, and then Andrew had to face the daily grind of running a restaurant.
One of our favorites. We always have it.
It takes a lot of effort simply to cope with Stuart.
Wild Rice is where I go to create and to be crushed at the same time. So they've been really good about leaving me alone. They've trusted me, and that's always nice too. You know, makes you feel like if they're leaving you alone, then it's probably they're either complete idiots or they trust you. And in this case, I think it's a little bit of both.
The stress is threatening his family life.
It's been difficult in some ways with the restaurant as busy as it is and not being able to see each other very often. There's definitely strain sometimes, but our life is good, and I mean, relationships are hard at the best of times, let alone having different schedules and being in school and a toddler and a restaurant. It's pretty intense.
Hey, where's all your flowers?
For his father,
I thought I seen
Andrew
flowers.
and Wild Rice embody the family's ultimate success.
You see, our family's always been in restaurant business, but this one beats them all now. This is really top notch for the family, anyway. You know, when you first started, this is probably we'll get another one in 3 years. We're getting close.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think we're gonna do one next year. I think it's gonna be longer than that for sure. Yeah.
Well,
people ask me all the time, am I gonna do more restaurants? Am I gonna do this for the rest of my life? I think I'm gonna live a pretty long life. I don't think so. I think you know, another 20 years tops of this, and that'll be probably it.
He's got a fine restaurant, he's making money, and he's made his family proud. But in the end, it's not what he wants.
Started off with the wrong reasons. Started off for the reasons of necessity and a little bit of, you know, greed and the need for succeeding in something in the restaurant business. And it's a total change of philosophy now. It's not about that. And this we've done here, and this is approximately what it feels like. It doesn't feel so great. You know, be sure that you want to commit to something like that, because, you know, having a restaurant, especially in its beginning phases, is like having a marriage. And if you don't commit fully to a marriage, you don't have that marriage. It feels better to have balance in life, because it's just you get what you put in, no matter what. You get what you put in.
I think I found the smile again, and I definitely lost that for about, maybe not a year, but 6 or 8 months. But I'm back.
Most top-level restaurateurs spend over $500,000 to get to this point. Craig and Darren spent about $80,000. Can they succeed? Craig Flynn was not your average pizza delivery guy. He was a European-trained chef with some pie-in-the-sky ideas.
A lot of ideas for the restaurant were conceived out on the road, listening to tunes, delivering pizzas. This person over here was an awesome tipper. That's all I'm going to say.
Working from pizza tips, he gathered his friends and relatives and said, "Let's put on a restaurant. You make the dining room, and I'll do the food." One of his best friends, Darren, would be a partner and co-chef.
I think we had more or less the same type of vision of what we wanted to do with always wanting to have our own restaurant. We decided, well, we're going to spend every last cent that we own to get our own business running and hope that it works out.
And I have a little reward for you. Oh, wait, now they already got T-shirts, man.
The problem was they didn't own that many cents. The wages for their friends were, well, there were no wages.
Alan's got a hat.
The cash budget was minimal.
If there's any way that you can fix this place up for $0, we're laughing. Such a small budget.
They had to spend some money, but anything in the double figures seemed like a cause for concern.
2008. 2008. Holy 11.
Just a little bit of a
Craig did hire a professional decorator, but a few months into the project, she got some bad news.
I'm basically OUT of money.
Oh yeah, you are
Gone.
OUT of money.
There's none left.
Against all odds, the restaurant opened.
I'm gonna call my mother. I'm watching the first my first sign go up in front of the building. I'm blown away.
Craig was in the kitchen doing what he loved, making creative dishes on, naturally, a small budget. Out front on opening night, friends and relatives gathered to enjoy. But the question was, would this homegrown production continue to draw fans?
Hopefully things will keep going good.
It's nearly 2 years after the opening of Chives, and Craig is living at home with his parents.
I had racked up credit cards and racked up personal debt and stuff like that in order to get open. So I'm paying those off. The business is doing a lot better than I am.
Diners like the food, the prices, and the ambience. Craig had a hit on his hands. Chives has even expanded.
Here, you'll see that we have removed a wall that used to have paintings on it, things like that, and we've created a little 16-seat lounge area, more of a casual theme.
Not bad. Some of Craig's early ideas, like a dining room in the old vault, seemed a little eccentric by most standards of good taste.
We can actually completely change the color scheme. We can go a little bit more, perhaps, traditional European bistro look.
I'm not sure if people are going to want to be in this room a little bit isolated from everything that's going on out there.
But surprise,
In light of the fact that we're celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary, I just really wanted some privacy, and it's very intimate and romantic.
it all seemed perfect on the surface.
We hadn't really taken enough time to set the business, the stuff that no guest ever sees. We didn't set that up probably as thoroughly as we should have. And it became necessary for me at that point to basically go into the office, and I wasn't on the line cooking nearly as much.
Craig spent months in misery slaving over a hot desk. Darren took over in the kitchen.
This is Darren over at Chives.
I found that extremely frustrating because I am a cook first and foremost, and the only reason that I opened this place was because I wanted to cook my food. It took its toll, and I lost the passion.
The solution? Put Darren in the office and Craig back in the kitchen.
What category does the window cleaning go under? You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Craig is a much more talented and creative chef than I could ever be. I'm very good at putting things together. You know, you need it done, it's going to happen, and it's going to be right. But he has these visions. I don't know where they come from, you know.
2 farmers are up. Oh, schmuck.
Now he's even a celebrity. with his own cooking show on CBC. That's CBC Radio. Radio is cheaper.
What I've done here is taken fresh strawberries, a little bit of sugar, not a lot, and a full bottle. I guess there has been sort of a feeling of maybe there's a little bit of a tiny bit of recognition towards Craig Flynn as well as chives. I've been really re-exploring and re-evaluating what I got into this for, and I'm proud to say that I think I found the smile again, and I definitely lost that for about, maybe not a year, but 6 or 8 months. But I'm back. Absolutely picture perfect. Could have been in a cookbook.
We eat, sleep, drink the restaurant business. And it's been such a big part of our lives.
Why do I want to do it? Because it's a challenge. It's the ultimate challenge.
And I get to express myself through it.
We've created an identity for ourselves. Stay true to that identity.
I've been in this business since I was 14 years old. It's all I know how to do.
I knew it would be hard. I knew it would be challenging.
It has been one heck of a roller coaster ride for sure.